Hey everyone, welcome to Amy Ulmer Yoga. I have a prenatal flow for you today. You can also do this just to open your hips if you're not pregnant. And if you are, you can do this at any stage of your pregnancy. So we'll go ahead and sit up nice and tall. You may want to have two blocks handy. If you need to, you can sit up on some height or sit up against the wall, roll your shoulders up, back, and down, and close your eyes. Just put one hand on your chest, one hand to your belly. Take a deep breath in and out through the nose. Just take a moment to connect with the life inside. One more deep breath in and out. And then you can release the hands to the thighs. And we'll just start to make some hip circles. So lean towards your right and then go forward and around towards the left. Keep going like that in this direction. You can make this movement as large or as small as feels good to you. And the next time you come up, we'll switch directions. So lean to the left, fold forward any amount, lean over to the right and lean back a little bit. Just making a couple circles in this direction. Good, and then you can come back sitting up nice and tall. Crawl your right fingers out to the right. Take your left arm up and over, side bending towards the right. And then bring your left fingers down, sit up tall. Crawl the left fingers over to the left. Bring your right arm up and over. Good, and then sit tall. And we'll make our way to the all fours. So just bringing your wrists under your shoulders, your knees under your hips. We'll take a couple rounds of cat-cow. So you can inhale and let the belly drop, draw the heart through your arms, arching your back. And as you exhale, round mostly into your upper back, and you can, make this as small or as large as you would like. So inhale and arch your back, tilt your tailbone up. Exhale, press the mat away, round, mostly into the upper back. Couple more rounds, just moving with your own breath. And then start to find a neutral position with your spine. Send your left leg back with the toes tucked under, so toes on the mat, and then shift back a little bit so you feel the stretch in your left calf. And then come forward a little bit, shoulders over wrists, float your left leg, roll that outer left hip down, firm your inner thighs in, hug your baby with your transverse abdominals, and then either stay there or see if you can reach your right arm forward. Breathe. Good. Then set the right hand down, set the left knee down, send your right leg back with the toes tucked under, shift back so you feel that stretch in your right calf. Good, and then shift shoulders over wrists, float your right leg, roll your outer right hip down, firm your inner thighs in, reach through that leg, stay there, or see if you can reach your left arm forward and hug your baby with the deepest layer of your abs, the transverse abs. Good, and then set everything down one more time each side. Send your right arm forward, your left leg back. You can keep your right toes tucked for more stability. And then set it down. Send your right leg back, your left arm forward. Reach. Good, and then come back down. Take your knees wide. Shift your hips back towards your heels. You can put your forehead on a block or the mat if it doesn't easily reach the floor. Take a breath. Good, and then we'll inhale, come back to the all fours. And then you may want your blocks here. I'm going to take mine on the highest setting and step your right foot forward in between your blocks. So if you need to, you can pad up your back knee, or you can double fold your mat like hot dog style. So you have some support there. Let your hips shift forward. Breathe. Press into your feet firm, your inner thighs in. Good. And then just straighten this right leg. So you might bring your heel a little more forward, straighten the leg, flex the toes towards your nose. You might want to adjust your blocks as you start to fold in, reaching your chest forward and your right hip back. Good, and then bend back into that right knee, heel toe it over towards the right. Bring your hands inside the right foot. You can probably set your blocks to the side unless you need a little more space. So press into that right foot. You can turn the right toes out a little. Take a breath in lizard. Good, and then just carefully drag that right foot back. We'll step the left foot forward. I'm going to come onto the highest setting of my blocks. Scooch my right knee back a little bit, bend into the left knee. Pad up your back knee if you need to. Press into the bottom of your left foot, top of the right foot. Reach your chest forward and up. Good, and then straighten this left leg. You may want to scoot your left heel more forward. So you're flexing the toes towards your nose, reaching your chest forward and your left hip back. You can take the blocks to a lower setting if that works for you as you fold in a little deeper exhale. Good, and then bend back into that left knee. Bring the hands inside the left foot, heel toeing it over towards the left, maybe turning the left toes out a little bit, pressing into that foot. softening in between your shoulder blades and melting that space down towards the mat. Take one more breath. Good. And then just drag that left foot back. We'll come into down dog. So bring your hands a little forward of your shoulders, about shoulders width apart. Tuck your toes and lift your hips up and back. Down dog. Just take a breath here. Lift your sitting bones up towards the ceiling. Knees can be bent. Firm your forearms in. And then take your feet wider, like mat width or even wider, heels in, toes out. And see if you can walk your hands back towards your feet so you're in a squat at the back of the mat. Bring your hands to heart center and your elbows inside your inner knees press into the elbows. If that's too much, be up a little higher in your squat and put your hands on your thighs. So we're going to make this dynamic as you inhale. Reach your arms out, around, and up. And exhale back down into your squat. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, squat. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, squat. You can use your hands on your thighs if you need to. Two more like that. Inhale up. Exhale down. Nice. And then inhale, reach up. And then release your arms. Take a little walk to the top of the mat. And take your feet a little wider, hips distance or even wider, so you have a broader base of support. And then inhale, reach your arms up. You can take a slight back bend if that feels good. Exhale, forward fold. Hands can come down to the mat or the blocks. Inhale, halfway lift, so either fingers to shins or you can come up onto a higher setting on your blocks. Exhale, step your left foot back to a lunge. So you can have your hands inside this right foot and right foot out a little wider like lizard. And then spin your back heel flat, setting up for warrior two. So cartwheel on open, warrior two. And then you might have to adjust your feet so that your right heel intersects with your back arch. So bend into that right knee, press your inner right knee towards your outer right knee. Reach through your arms, back leg strong. And then slowly straighten this right leg. Left hand slides down the back leg. Reach that right arm up and over behind you. Good. And then back. Arms to a T. Shift the hips back. Reach, reach, reach as far as you can forward and then down to your block, shin, foot, or floor. If you have that block, really press into it. Reach your left arm straight up. Lengthen through your top ribs. Hug your baby with your transverse abdominals, that deepest layer. Good, and then press through the outer edge of your back foot. Let that top arm carry you back up. Turn towards the long edge of the mat. You might want to put your blocks out in front. Bring your heels in, your toes out, your hands to your thighs. You can shorten your stance a little bit here in Goddess, so moving the feet just slightly closer together, maybe shimmying a little bit side to side. You're pressing your knees out so that they track in the middle of the feet. And then pause, drop your left shoulder down towards midline as you twist towards the right. Back to center, drop your right shoulder down, look over towards the left, twisting. Good, inhale back to center. Exhale, drop your left shoulder. Inhale, center. Exhale, drop the right shoulder. Good, back to center. Straighten the legs and now take them a little wider and parallel your feet. So toes line up, hands to your hips. Inhale, lift your chest, draw your elbows towards each other behind you. And as you exhale, forward fold. So you can take your hands to those blocks. You can stay halfway in the fold, or you can come in a little deeper. Do what feels right to you. Good, and then plant your left hand under your face on the block or the mat. Reach your right arm up, twisting towards the right. Good, and then the right hand comes down to the block. Reach your left arm up, twisting towards the left. Good. And then the hands come down under your shoulders on the blocks or the mat. Keep your legs nice and strong. Take your hands to your hips, press through your feet, come all the way up. Turn back to warrior two at the top, and then heel toe your right foot a little more over towards the right. And we're going to cartwheel the arms down, bringing them down inside that right foot. Now you can take your hands to the blocks for more space. Spin your back heel up. So again, you're in a lizard. Then plant your hands to the mat. See if you can step straight back to down dog, or you can bring that back knee down, come to the all fours. Then tuck your toes, lift your hips up and back. Down dog. Inhale, rock forward to plank, shifting your shoulders over wrists. Knees can be up or down. Breathe. And then bring your knees down if they're not already. Push up, so shift forward. Bend your elbows like chaturanga. Only go down a little bit. And then press back up. Tuck the toes. Go back to down dog. Nice. Bend your knees, gaze forward. Make your way to the top of the mat, or you can walk your hands and feet towards each other. Bend your knees, roll on up to stand. Roll the shoulders up, back, and down. And then you can come to the top of the mat. Taking the feet about hips distance apart. Inhale, reach the arms up. Slight back bend if it feels good. Exhale, forward fold. Hands to blocks or the mat. Inhale, halfway lift to a flattish back. And then step your right foot back to a lunge. Hands come inside this left foot so you can heel toe it a little more over to the left for kind of a lizard. And then spin your back heel flat and cartwheel on open to warrior two. Second side. Nice. So you're bending into that left knee, pressing the inner left knee towards your outer right knee. Back leg strong. Reach through your arms. And then straighten this left leg reverse. Reach the left arm up. Right hand can slide down the back leg. back to warrior two, then shift the hips back, reach, 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 come into triangle so that block goes to the outside of your left foot. And I forgot to say, line up your left heel so that it intersects with your back arch. Press into that block, reach the right arm up. Take your attention to those top ribs and see if you can lengthen them. Take a breath. Good. And then press through the outer edge of your back foot. Let that top arm carry you back up. Bring your heels in, your toes out so you're in goddess. I'm just going to turn around. I didn't think that one through. I'd be facing the wall. And then shimmy side to side. And then pause. Drop your right shoulder down towards midline twist. Inhale back to center. Drop your left shoulder down. Twist. Keep pressing the knees out. Good. Back to center. One more time. Twisting towards the left. Dropping your right shoulder. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist. Drop your left shoulder. Good. Back to center. Straighten your legs. Parallel your feet. So now you turn the toes straight ahead. You may want your blocks. Line up your toes. Hands to your hips. Inhale, lift your chest. Exhale, wide angle fold so hands can come down to the blocks or the mat under your shoulders. Keeping the legs nice and strong. And you can fold in a little deeper if it feels available. Good. And then inhale up halfway. Place your left hand under your face, either on a block or the mat. Reach your right arm up, twisting. Good. Then right hand comes down. Reach your left arm up, twist. Good. And then both hands come down under your shoulders. Keep the legs strong, hands to your hips. Inhale, press through your feet, come all the way up. Okay, and now you're turning towards warrior two, but your left leg is forward. And then heel toe it a little towards the left, cartwheel your arms down. So now you're in lizard. Spin your back heel up. You may want your hands on blocks. Take a breath here. And then see if you can step straight back to down dog, or you may want to lower that back knee, come to the all fours, and then press your hips up and back, down dog. Good. And then inhale, rock forward to plank. Shift your shoulders over your wrists. You can bring your knees down if you need to. Puff up your upper back. Press the mat away. Good. And then go ahead and bring your knees down. Untuck your toes. Shift forward. Do a little baby push-up, mini push-up. Go down and back up. And then back to down dog. Good. And then just bring your knees down and come to a high kneeling position. So setting up for camel, you may want the blocks by your ankles. So you can place one to the side of one ankle, one to the outside of the other ankle. And then take your hands to your hip points and narrow and lift them so you're hugging your baby with the lowest band, with the deepest layer of your abs. And then take your hands to your low back and draw your elbows towards each other. And then inhale, lift your chest like you're going up and over something behind you. So really lifting your sternum. If it's available, you can reach your right hand to the block, left hand to the block, and then shift your hips forward over your knees. Roll your shoulders open, lift your chest, and then bring your right hand to your low back, left hand to your low back. Sit back on your heels a moment if that's okay, on your knees. Or you can sit in a cross-shin position. We won't be here long. Just take a moment to rest, catch your breath, notice the effects of the pose. Good, and then come back to that high kneeling position. With your knees about hip socket distance or so, and then hug your baby with that lowest band of abs. So low belly in, and then take your hands to your low back. Draw your elbows towards each other. Inhale, lift your chest. Arch over that imaginary pole behind your upper back. Then see if you can take your left hand to the block, right hand to the block. And then shift your hips forward and lift your chest. Or you can keep your hands at your low back. Take one more breath. And then left hand to your low back, right hand to your low back. We'll sit back on the heels, set your blocks to the side if you have them. We'll take a down dog. So bringing the hands forward of your shoulders, lifting the hips up and back, just stretching out your back, neutralizing after that back bend. Then bring your right knee towards your right wrist and lay the shin down on an angle. So make sure the right knee is angled towards the right hand corner of the mat. Scoot your left thigh back. Come up onto your fingertips and find this little back bend, this pigeon prep. If your right hip is really lifted, I didn't say to have a blanket, but you could use a blanket or a block under that right hip. Just kind of wedge it under there. And then you can either stay here in pigeon prep or you can start to fold, walking the hands forward, either coming down on your forearms and resting your head on the block, or you can stretch your arms out in front and rest your head down on the mat if it's available. Soften your jaw. If it's uncomfortable, you can come out. We'll just be here for one more breath. And then just shift onto your right hip and swing your left leg forward. So bring your right sole of the foot to the inside of your left foot. So kind of making like a tree pose shape. Sit up nice and tall. Flex this left foot. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, fold over this left leg. Just let the hands fall where they may. So you can be kind of halfway in the fold. Give yourself some space if you need to. So you're keeping a long spine as long as you're feeling it in your left hamstring. That's what matters. One more breath. Good. And then inhale back up. We're just going to take this left leg more out to the side. So right sole of the foot to the left inner groin, and you're angled wide, and then sit up tall. Slide your left hand down your left shin. Reach your right arm up and over so you're side bending. Spin your chest and belly up. Take one more breath. Good. And then come back up And we'll bring the soles of the feet together, the knees wide. Sit up nice and tall. You can take your fingers behind you and lift your chest. Press your feet together and draw your knees down. You can stay right there or hang on to your feet or your ankles and exhale, fold in any amount. And one more breath. Good. And then inhale, come back up. We'll make our way back to the all fours. Taking your hands a little forward of your shoulders, tucking the toes, lifting the hips up and back, down dog just for a breath. And then bring your left knee towards your left wrist, lay the shin down at an angle, scoot your right thigh back, come up into a little back bend, pigeon prep, slide something under your left hip if it's lifted really high. And then when you're ready, you can fold or stay there. You can bring your forehead to a block, staying on your forearms, or you can reach your arms out long and bring your head down to the mat only if it's available. Soften your jaw. Take one more breath. And then inhale, start to walk your hands back towards you and then just shift over onto your left hip. Swing your back leg around. Left sole of the foot inside your right thigh. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, fold any amount over the leg. So keeping a long spine, keeping the right toes pointed up towards the ceiling, the foot flex. Each inhale, reach your chest forward. Each exhale, maybe you fold in a little deeper, only if it's available. Good. And then inhale, come back up. Now I'm going to angle this right leg more out to the right, or I'm going to turn more towards you. So the legs are angled a little wider. Right hand slides down your right leg. Your left arm reaches up and over, stretching your left side, spinning chest and belly up. Breathe. Good. And then left hand down. We'll come to Baddha Konasana again. So soles of the feet together, knees wide. This time you can take your heels a little further away from you. Inhale, sit tall. Exhale, fold any amount. So now you get a little more into your low back. And then inhale, come back up. We're going to come onto your left side for Shavasana. So a side lying Shavasana. Feel free to put a blanket if you have one handy down. And then you can just rest your left ear on your left arm. Rest your head down on your left arm. Just can have the knees bent. You can take your right hand to your baby. Again, just reconnecting with the life inside. letting everything be heavy and relaxed. Just honoring yourself for making it to your mat today. Doing something good for your baby and you, your body and mind. And feel free to rest here as long as you would like. You can use the strength of your arms to start to press yourself up to an easy seat, or keep resting if you have time. And just sit up nice and tall any way that's comfortable. Bring your hands to heart center. The light in me sees and honors the light in you. Thank you so much for watching. Namaste.